The headlines are dizzying. Every day, news stories break about the booming economy, record profits and surging markets. U.S. household net worth surges to a record $170 trillion. The numbers seem almost unreal, as if the country is swimming in wealth. But at the same time, most Americans are stressed about money. For many, the reality behind those headlines feels distant, even unreachable. Inflation is pushing grocery bills to the breaking point. Every trip to the store is a reminder that paychecks don't stretch as far as they used to. It feels like two different countries, one where champagne flows on super yachts, where the ultra-wealthy celebrate without a care, another where families debate whether they can afford both milk and bread, making tough choices every week just to get by. This isn't just a feeling, it's the defining economic story of our time. The disconnect is everywhere, visible in every city and town. A tech billionaire's net worth jumps by billions in a day, fortunes made in the blink of an eye, while a teacher in Ohio faces a $2,000 car repair that could wipe out her savings, forcing her to choose between fixing her car or paying rent. She wonders, whose wealth is it really? Who benefits from all this prosperity? We talk about the economy as if it's a shared experience, but averages hide the extremes. The reality is far more complicated. If one person has $1 billion and 9 have nothing, the average is $100 million each, but 9 people are still broke. The numbers can be misleading. This is America on a grand scale, a nation of contrasts and contradictions. The feeling of being left behind isn't about envy. It's about security. It's about the fear of falling through the cracks. It's the anxiety of living without a safety net, knowing one emergency could unravel everything. For many, it's a constant, quiet worry. Most people don't want mansions or jets. They want stability. They want to know their families are safe and their homes secure. They want the freedom not to think about money every second. To enjoy life's simple moments without financial stress looming overhead. They want to know that if something goes wrong, they'll be okay. That a setback won't mean disaster. For many, that feeling is slipping away. The sense of security that once defined the American dream is fading. The story of American wealth is not about abundance for all, but about a growing divide. The gap between rich and poor is widening. The numbers on the screen don't match the reality on the ground. Statistics can't capture the daily struggles of ordinary people. The average hides the struggle of millions. Behind every statistic is a real person, facing real challenges. The real question isn't how rich the country is, but how secure its people feel. Wealth means little if it's not shared. In the richest country in history, why do so many feel poor? Why does prosperity feel so out of reach for so many? The answer lies in how wealth is distributed, and who gets left behind. The system rewards a few, while millions struggle. This is the story of a rich country with poor citizens, a nation where opportunity and hardship exist side by side. It's not just about money, it's about dignity, hope, and the promise of a better life. It's about what money can't buy: peace of mind, the comfort of knowing you'll be okay no matter what happens, and that's becoming harder to find. In a nation of plenty, true security is becoming a rare luxury. Let's follow the money and see where it really ends up. That $170 trillion in U.S. household wealth is real. On paper, the country has never been richer, and the numbers are truly staggering. But wealth isn't spread like rain. It's a geyser erupting in a few places, pooling in select neighborhoods and families. The top 10% of households hold about 70% of the country's wealth, leaving the rest to share what's left. The top 1% control over 30% of all wealth, a slice that keeps growing. The top 0.1%? 14%. An astonishing concentration in the hands of a tiny elite. Their share has more than doubled since the 1980s, as the rich have gotten even richer over the decades. Most of this wealth isn't cash. It's stocks, real estate, and private businesses, assets that grow in value over time. If you already have money, your wealth grows while you sleep, compounding quietly in the background. The stock market's historic run made investors richer, but if your only connection to the economy is a paycheck, you're standing still, watching others pull ahead. The more wealth you have, the more you can access exclusive investments that generate even higher returns. Opportunities out of reach for most. Meanwhile, most people are just trying to build a small emergency fund and a savings account that barely keeps up with inflation, struggling to get ahead. The gap doesn't just grow, it accelerates, widening faster with every passing year. For most Americans, that $170 trillion might as well be on another planet, far removed from their daily reality. The story of American wealth is a story of concentration, not distribution. With fortunes piling up in a few hands, the numbers are real, but the experience is not shared. The divide is felt in everyday life. That's why so many feel left out, watching prosperity from the sidelines, wondering if they'll ever catch up. If the top 10% hold 70% of the wealth, what's left for everyone else? The bottom 50%, over 160 million people, own just 2.5% of the country's wealth. Their share hasn't budged in 30 years. It's not about laziness, it's about the starting line. Wealth building requires surplus income, but for millions, there is no surplus. The paycheck comes in and goes right back out. Rent, loans, groceries, healthcare. Investing is a distant dream when you're worried about next month's rent. This is the tyranny of fixed costs. A financial wall that's hard to climb. Most people know investing is important, but knowing and being able to do it are worlds apart. Nearly a third of Americans couldn't cover a $400 emergency with cash. A country can be fabulously wealthy on paper, but if millions are one small emergency away from crisis, that wealth isn't providing real security. The illusion of prosperity hides a fragile reality. Is this just how capitalism works? Not everywhere. The American version of capitalism is unique, and its effects are felt in everyday life. Compare the US to the UK, two wealthy nations with very different approaches to prosperity. On paper, Americans are richer, with bigger houses, more cars, and higher salaries. They have higher average net worth and more disposable income, but averages can be misleading, hiding the real story. The median American does have more wealth than their British counterpart, but faces much higher costs for essentials like healthcare, education, and even housing. In the UK, healthcare is free at the point of use, university tuition is capped, and prescription costs are minimal. Social safety nets are stronger, offering support for families, the elderly, and the unemployed. These services act as indirect wealth, providing real value that doesn't show up in a bank account. They create a floor below which people can't fall, offering peace of mind in tough times. Americans, on the other hand, must fund their own retirement, save for college, and pay for expensive healthcare out of pocket, often with little help. A major illness can mean bankruptcy, something almost unheard of in other wealthy nations. In places like the UK, people rarely worry that a health crisis will destroy their finances. So, while Americans may have more money on paper, their financial lives are more precarious, with less room for error. Their wealth is fragile because they're on the hook for so much more, and unexpected costs can wipe out savings. This context explains why so many Americans feel poor, even when their incomes are high. Gross income may be high, but it doesn't always translate to security or comfort. After accounting for all the risks and expenses, insecurity remains for many. A British family with less income may actually feel more secure, knowing a health crisis won't ruin them, and that support is always available. True wealth isn't just a number, it's about having control over your life and peace of mind. It's the ability to enjoy life without constant financial anxiety. Security, not just dollars, defines real prosperity and lasting happiness. The American system delivers abundance, but not always stability or reassurance. That's why, for many, the feeling of wealth remains so elusive no matter how much they earn. Where you live shapes how wealthy you feel. A $100,000 salary feels rich in a small Midwest town. Big house, savings, comfort. Move to San Francisco or New York, and suddenly you're struggling to get by. Surrounded by visible wealth, your own income feels small. We judge our success by those around us, not national averages. Even high earners feel pressure to keep up, and the goalposts keep moving. Perception of wealth is relative, not absolute. Your zip code can turn comfort into anxiety. Inflation is an invisible thief, quietly eroding your money's value. If your salary rises 3% but costs rise 5%, you're effectively earning less. The most painful inflation hits essentials, housing, cars, groceries. Home prices and rents have soared, putting ownership out of reach for many. Car prices have jumped, turning a necessity into a burden. Grocery bills climb, forcing tough choices at the checkout. You can skip a vacation, but you can't skip food or shelter. When necessities outpace wages, life becomes a grind. The small joys, dinners out, new shoes, are the first to go. Inflation makes people feel poorer, no matter what the statistics say. It's a daily reminder that prosperity is slipping away. Inflation doesn't hit everyone equally. Asset owners, those with real estate stocks, often benefit as their assets rise in value. The rich get richer simply by owning things. But if your main asset is cash, inflation is a disaster. Your savings lose value every day. Salaries that don't keep up mean you're falling behind. Fixed-rate debt like a mortgage can shrink in real terms, benefiting homeowners. Renters, meanwhile, see costs rise and savings erode, a brutal double hit. Inflation widens the gap, rewarding owners and punishing workers. What can you do? You can't control the economy, but you can control your own finances. Focus on the basics. Master your spending with a simple bucket system: fixed costs, savings, flexible spending. Automate savings and manage only what's left for day-to-day expenses. Avoid lifestyle inflation. Don't let spending rise with income. Direct raises into savings, not bigger bills. Protect what you build with insurance. Health, disability, life. Emergencies are the biggest threat to your plan. Wealth isn't just about growing money, it's about protecting it. The boring parts, insurance, savings, are what let you sleep at night. Build resilience, not just riches. In chasing more, we forget to ask, what is money for? Comparison is a thief of joy. There will always be someone with more. True wealth isn't about numbers, but about having enough to live the life you want. Consider the parable of the fisherman and the banker. The fisherman already lives the life the banker dreams of after decades of striving. Real wealth is freedom, community, and time. It's not about millions in the bank, but about control over your days. The richest life isn't always the one with the most money, it's the one with the most meaning. That's a fortune you can't measure, and it's available to more of us than we think.